Bum 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 bum. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Bum 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 bum, making the cutest that I.
Hi, today's hair tutorial is going to be for this 1930s style finger wave tutorial, starting from pin curls. So let's get started.
Bum 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 bum, given to lips like roses and clover. Bum bum bum, then tell him that is.
Alright, so here's the setting pattern that I used for this hairstyle. I have my part, and then I have alternating rows of pin curls. So the first row curls this way, and then the next row curls that way, and this one curls forward and then backwards again. And then I have the same thing on the other side, one row curling this way, one row curling the other direction. And that's really what you want for waves. You need the alternating rows. It's not so important how many you have in a row, just as long as you have the alternating rows. And then the back, I also did alternating rows, so they don't necessarily match up with the rows on the sides of my head. Oh, excuse me. And then anything that was really short got put in one of these little blue sponge rollers, because around the back some of my hair and on the bottom is too short to do pin curls and stay out. I did lose a couple overnight. If this happens, you can just get a small barrel curling iron and curl them. Or if my hair's longer and I can do a pin curl, usually what I do is I wake up in the morning and I see that it's down. I'll just put on some styling putty, wrap it up in a pin curl, pin it up there, and then let it dry while I'm checking my Facebook and stuff. I've really found the secret to getting pin curls to stay and to stay all day is to use some kind of a product. A lot of people swear by Lotta Body, but I've never used it. What I use is this stuff by Garnier. It's their Survival Super Hold Extreme Level 5 hair stuff. And it has a cactus extract in it. But it's really good and it really helps to hold. And I just put a little bit on my hands, rub my hands around, and then run it through my hair before I start doing a pin curl set. And that seems to be what works best for keeping my pin curls in all day. Okay, so now we're going to start taking everything out. And there's not really any rhyme or reason to how I take them out. I'm just going to start somewhere and keep going.
The nights are over, Sandman. I'm so alone. Bum 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 bum. Don't have nobody to call my own. Bum bum bum. Please turn on your magic beam, Mr. Sandman. Bring me a dream. Bum 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 bum.
Okay, there's one more. So once you have all of your pin curls out, you get something that looks like this. If your hair's longer, they might pull out a little bit more. But what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of break them up a little bit. I usually do it with my hand first because my hair doesn't curl as well, so they tend to be a little bit more gentle. And it's going to kind of get kind of crazy as you're going. And then I'm just going to brush through a couple of times, not excessively because I don't want to brush all the curls out. And so now it looks a lot better. You can see we already got some volume up here. So the next part we're going to do is the finger waving process. And again, you're going to want to use some kind of a product. I use this fiber gum putty by Garnier. And it's just really light. It's a lot lighter than the cactus stuff. It doesn't like leave my hands all feeling icky. I don't have to use soap when I wash my hands for this. And so usually I just take the lid and I just dab my fingers in the lid a little bit just to get a little bit of putty. You don't need a lot. And then I'm going to rub it over my fingers, kind of spread it around. And then we're going to start to form the finger waves. And so you're going to kind of want to go with the natural wave that the pin curls gave to your hair. So you can see that I have this front arch. So I'm going to kind of take my finger on the hair and kind of push it forward to kind of get that curve going all the way through my hair. And then you kind of want to push the next part back and hold that. Usually the first two for me tend to be more well defined. And then while you're holding these, we're going to take our brush and just kind of brush our hair forward. We're wanting to encourage it to start forming that wave down on the lower sections. Okay, so you can see that we're kind of starting to get that wave effect going on. And I usually get a little bit more putty. And keep on going. This is something that you'll get faster at as you practice and as you get better at making your even rows, because that's really going to help get the wave to come out nice. And then you can kind of brush this one backwards, just kind of encouraging that next wave. Okay. So usually for finger waves, they need to set some way. A lot of people use these kind of duckbill clamps to kind of go in there and really hold the wave in. But my hair is really fine, and I haven't found that these guys hold it very well, so I usually just use bobby pins. So I'm just going to use a little bit more putty, and I putty up the hair. Get it to be pushed forward where I want it, and then bobby pin it. Now usually I need more than one bobby pin because bobby pins are so short. I'm not going to hold my hair quite as well. And I just bobby pin these. You probably can't see very well with the bobby pins, but they're just holding that wave into the hair so it can kind of dry. So this putty can dry on it and help keep it. And then do the second one. And this time, the bobby pins will go the other direction. Will go in this way. And then do a second one. Again, or you can do this with the duckbill clips if those work for your hair. It's not cooperating. Okay, and then I hold on the bobby pins after I do the second one, because the first two are usually pretty well formed. And the second one, I like to hold the bobby pins when I'm making the third one, so you don't pull that wave out. Really forming the waves. Making sure we're forming them to pretty far back on our hair. You don't, for the 30s look, you don't want the wave just to be in the front. You want it to kind of go for the entire head. If you do just in the front, it'll be like more like a Marcel wave. Then for the last one, usually I try to aim for back wave right behind my ear, where my ear starts. Just because it generally, I found that it sits better on my head if I do that, instead of having the forward wave over my ear. And then the ends here, I load up with putty, because usually they're kind of crazy by this point, and then I roll into a pin curl. and that'll give a nice little curl at the end of your hair. Sometimes, depending on where the wave falls, it ends up being pinned in front of my ear, behind the ear, but it doesn't really matter. You just want those end hairs to also have that curl going in the opposite direction of your last wave, so the wave will continue out through the bottom hairs that are not right on your head. Okay, now you have one side that is finished. Where's this side? And we can start on the other side. Now on the light side, I usually do a backwards wave first. So kind of this backward motion. Just really trying to form the wave. This side I usually don't fuss as much with. You can see the wave going. And again, having that putty or whatever kind of holding product on your hand is really going to help these waves stay and lock into that formation. And then this one is going to curl. The wave comes and is going to curl this way. Set that into a little pin curl. And this one ended up being in front of my ear, which is fine. Okay, and now we have to deal with the back of the hair. My hair is pretty short right now, so it kind of does some funky things, but you just want it to be curly. You don't want it to be completely straight, because that's not going to give you the kind of look that you're looking for. And then I just try not to brush it too much, so I just still have some curl left in the back somewhere going on. And if you have the longer hair, doing that alternating direction in the back is going to just give you kind of a natural wave in the back, which will look really nice. It just won't be as structured as the waves in the front, because we aren't going to do this bobby pinning and gelling part for that. Yeah, you just don't want it to be straight. So now I'm just going to go and let this really dry really well. Usually I would, put on my makeup and finish getting ready while I was doing this, but I had my makeup on. So I'll be back in a second. Alright, so now I'm back and my hair is dry from the putty, and I'm ready to take out the bobby pins to get the final look. So let's go. Just want to be careful when you take out the bobby pins that you don't want to really disturb the hair very much, since we spent all that time getting it in a really nice wave.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream, make him the cutest that I've ever seen. Give him the word that I'm not a rover, and tell him that his lonesome nights are over.
Sometimes the little pin curls at the end don't come out so great, so usually what I do is I take the ends and I tuck them underneath and then kind of pin it up into the rest of the hair using a bobby pin that just matches my hair the best. So that it will just kind of stay right there, and I have that little pin curl. Can you see that? And the ends are just tucked under so they're not poking out looking weird. And then just kind of fix any little stray hairs you got going on in there. This one ended up being really weird. I'm just going to leave it kind of behind my ear. You can't see it. So now I've just got this really nice flat 30s wave going on. So, here you go. That's our hairstyle for today.
I'm so alone, don't have nobody to call my own. Please turn on your magic beam, Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Bum 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 bum.